The story takes place in the French countryside in the 18th century. Emma is the daughter of a farmer. She is pure, innocent, and intelligent, has yet to turn 18. She received aristocratic education in the convent, where she studied theology, embroidery, piano, and painting. Unlike other girls serving God, Emma reads a lot of romantic novels. She fantasized about a hard-tinged man. Emma had to pick up by her father because she did not obey the strict rules. Charlie Bovary, a country doctor, an honest Roman who fell in love with Emma at the first sight. The two soon become lovers. Shortly after the beginning of spring, Charlie and Emma married according to custom. Before getting married, Emma thought love was a golden feathered bird, can fly freely in the splendid heaven. But after marriage, she found Charlie was just an ordinary and vulgar man. His talk is as flat as a sidewalk. His opinion of vulgarity is extremely low. He can't appreciate Emma's heart-made pastries. His words and deeds are as common as passerby. She can't stand a trace of emotion and laughter. The couple live only on missionaries. In fact, Charlie's love, though not sensual, is caring and tender. In his daily life, he is almost as soft as his wife. Emma, however, does not cherish her husband's gentleness and considerateness. All she can think of is the luxury of the Parisian aristocracy. Now has to get used to the quiet. The house is located in the remoteness of this lifelong marriage. Soon Emma tried of the noblest fantasies, enthusiasm and pleasure she did not feel anymore. One day Charlie took his wife to a small party, and at the dinner table Emma said Leon. He is young and charming also, about her age. When they first met, the two had a good chat away. They had the same interest in love, travel, and music. Since then, Leon has either come to Emma to hang out with her. They talk about romance novels and fashion, immerse themselves in the feeling of communication and classical music in the spin. As the number of meetings increases, one night while Charlie was on business, Leon made a bold statement to Emma. For a time, Emma's desires burned up like fire. Leon forced his way forward to ask for a kiss, and the two wiped out a spark of passion. But Emma could not have imagined the relationship suddenly. Leon was forced by his parents to go to Paris to finish law classes. When he and Emma said goodbye, the two only feel the sadness and longing forward. When the lover leaves, Emma is like a broken kite. The whole day she crazily depressed, for sometimes she fell ill from her troubles. The memory of Leon became her lingering sorrow. There is a shop next to Emma's house. The boss caller is a cunning and insidious trader, often go to door to promote his items. After the first conversation, caller immediately saw Emma's vanity. He recommends the fashion magazines of the upper classes, the operas of the Parisian Academy, and all kinds of luxury that are expensive to her. At first, Emma was little hesitant, but when she heard that she could pay the bill, her desire for things spread quickly. Buy a lot of expensive clothes and things. From then on, Emma's vanity was out of control. She couldn't help herself in her wasted life. Just then, Emma's second lover appeared. Brown, the town's landlord, came to Charlie to give his horse. He is a veteran of the Wind Moon, did his justice. He is arrogant and rude. Brown saw Emma as a beggar, and soon as they met, he came up with an idea to seduce her. A few days later, Brown held a hunting party at his home and invited Charlie's. Charlie had no interest in horse riding, and he proposed that Emma be involved in the activities. As a result, Charlie's high-powered assist directly allowed Brown's plot to succeed. During the hunt, Emma witnessed the life of the upper classes. Look at the naive Emma. Brown was seduced by a thoughtful and indulgent seducing. Emma gradually fell in love with him. Brown first in front of Charlie secretly stuck a letter to her. Emma excuses unwell and pushed off the activity she attends with her husband. In an empty corner, she opened the letter. Full of naked, hot confessions of one of another. Emma couldn't stand the temptation. After taking the initiative to begin, she took her husband Charlie as a setup, and Emma would date Brown. The two of them, with their brothers running, were frantically having fun. Every time she got home, the more Emma looks at Charlie, the worse he looks. In her eyes, her husband was just an ordinary village doctor. He is serious and old and boring. He had no interest in art nor romantic novels. He can't give her a luxurious life. After a while, Charlie was going to have a surgery for a young man. As soon as friends and family arrived in the neighborhood, Charlie was confident. However, the operation failed. Charlie mistakenly cut off the Achilles tendon of the young man, causing him to disable for life. Emma couldn't bear to live like this anymore. She was anxious to find Brown. She made a request for them to elope to Paris. Brown realized that it was not good. He had to pretend to agree. That night, Emma, while packing up, she told the maid to take care of his husband. Then she received a breakup letter from Brown. Emma's heart is like a dead terrific. The man she loved easily deceived Emma's feelings. She fainted and had a serious illness. In the days to come, Emma gradually recovers. She wanted to change her mind, but then something happened. Charlie took Emma to Rouen where she met Leon again, who had been emotional. Now he's in a firm Korean internship. So the seeds of love once again sprouted. At this point, Leon has no original feelings and shyness. As soon as they met, he wanted to possess Emma, and Emma seemed to catch the straw that would make her happy. She became more bold and indulgent in behavior. Back in town, Emma went to Rouen to learn piano, but in fact she was going to have a threesome with Leon. As before, Emma poured her passion into Leon. He indulged in the pleasure of physical indulgence. Yeah. Emma spent all her money together in exchange for debt. She lived in her own fantasy with all her had. Life without restraint, regardless of the consequence. Brian and her husband in the business to make money. That day, Emma went to the law firm to complain to Leon. But when he heard that Emma owed a lot of money, Leon immediately hated her. At the moment, the boss of the firm issued a stern warning. He wants Leon to break up with Emma in order not to affect the future. Leon decisively chose to break up. Before Emma could recover, the court sent another summons. The bank limited her to 24 hours to pay off the loan she owed, or she'll have to mortgage her property. After a few months, she owed more than 10,000 francs, was deeply in the matter of being unable to pay her debts. At a critical moment, Emma thought of the rich landlord Brown, but when the other party learned of Emma, they refused to lend a helping hand. Brown also said he was frugal, with everybody extremely hypocritical. Emma was deeply humiliated. When she was desperate, Emma sold her dowry, a set of silverware. However, silverware is not a rare antique. She only suggested she can pay for it. But Lily only had money in his eyes. When he refused to accept Emma, he reduced the woman to nothing. Before, Emma used loans to satisfy her longing for material things, feel the fantasy of love by cheating. But in the end, she was bound by desire until she was tortured black and blue. At this time, Emma's debt accumulated. Her husband's small property was also squandered. Her heart was filled with guilt. Out of the house, remorseful, Emma swallowed the arsenic. Along the way, she walked wobbly in a long avenue. Emma fell on the dead leaves in exhaustion. There was an empty arsenic bottle in her hand. As an ordinary woman, Emma regards love as the whole of her life. She was immersed in romantic novels deviating from reality, in pursuit of that incredible love. Make herself vain, money worshiper. When desires conflicts with reality, Emma was in an iron fetters. She's stuck in it, can't get of it. Finally embarked on a life of no return. Freud said that the following inner feelings and desires come from a request to observe morality and ethics in the category of superego. Emma tells us with her life, it's dangerous to follow the glory too much. A person's heart is the conflict and struggle. So we have to look up the stars, but we have to be down to earth.